we're really excited about this opportunity on Saturday. There are still some tickets left. With students on break, the department, I think, made a great decision, and that was offering tickets to non-students to be able to sit in the jungle, kind of relive their college days a little bit, if you will. I don't expect anybody to take their shirt off and paint their chest orange or anything like that, but I wouldn't mind it. You know, ESPN2 is going to be here Saturday. They're only coming 3 times this year. This is one of them. And so I'm really hoping that this is a different environment, that people get here early. It's a 1:30 tip, and that this crowd is electric, because it's hard for Auburn to get teams like UConn to come to Auburn, Alabama to play us. I think that's just a historical fact, and we've had, since I've been here, we've had Xavier and Colorado and Oklahoma State, and you know, we've had some pretty good teams, but it's not easy. Certainly UConn, we went there last year at a difficult time with a really short turnaround time to get them to get them to come back and have our fans get treated to what has been this last decade. You know, they've won 4 NCAA titles since 1999. There's very little margin for error for us. I felt it. I felt it when we played UAB without Mustafa, and I really felt it on Tuesday night at Murray. We've got Horace in the locker room with a flagrant 2. We've got Anthony on the bench, with a big knot in his head, having taken a pretty hard blow after he blocked a dunk. And I've got Deshaun cramping up and trying to go. And boy, he went a little bit late and made some big plays, but his whole body was cramping. And so I was down to 6 scholarship players there. And we held on. Jared Harper obviously made big plays down the stretch offensively, overall the whole team kind of stepped up and got a great road win against Murray. No SEC team's been there in 20 years, and they live right there in Murray, Kentucky, surrounded by SEC teams. I understand why. It's a tough place to play. They win 86% of the non-conference games there. But it was a great environment, great fan support. They got great history and tradition there. And I've never been anywhere as an opponent where I was thanked more, both before and after the game, for bringing an SEC team into their building and being willing to play a mid-major team. Part of it is maybe my background in mid-major for all those years, or in Division II. Part of it was just knowing that road wins count more, and especially road wins in tough places to play, like Dayton or like Murray State. I think that hopefully will, if we get ourselves to the point where we can be in consideration for a tournament, that the committee will look at those things. UConn has got 8 guys, 6'8" or bigger, and we have 2 with Horace and with Chuma, so they've got a size advantage. And they've just got a great player. Jalen Adams is a great player. They've got other pieces as well, but he's special. So we're going to have to do the best job we can to contain him and understand the other pieces that they have. They're deep. They're 7-3 right now. They play Arizona tonight. The only teams they've lost to are marquee teams. They beat Oregon, which is a great win for them, and they lost to Arkansas, Michigan State, and Syracuse. And I think either all those teams are or have been ranked. So they beat everybody else. So it should be a great opportunity for us. Questions?
How's Mac looking?
He's looking better, and I think the last test will be today when he moves. He will not practice with contact today. We're going to have a contact practice, but he will not have any contact. But he will move today. And assuming he doesn't experience any headaches or any concussion symptoms once he's moving, he should be okay to go Saturday.
Is this his first concussion? Did you know?
I don't know.
There's been a couple of different just national reports the last 24 hours parsing what's going on here and whatnot, and cooperation and what exactly that means and whatnot. Could you just expound, has there been any sign of changes, has there been any substantive changes in your conversations with the university at this point?
Yeah, I appreciate that. No, there have been no substantive changes. I think that, I think from a national media's perspective, you know, obviously it had been reported, and I had really never commented on what levels of cooperation were existing, but we have been working really hard together through the process. And there are obviously certain aspects of the investigation that are very private, and we're keeping them that way. But there's been no real change, other than, you know, obviously we have 11 players that are playing, and our coaches are coaching, and through a very difficult time. You know, the situation with the FBI and the allegations are serious. Again, I feel badly as head basketball coach that I'm responsible, and want to bring really good things to the university and to the program. Put the university in this situation has put the university in a tough spot. Put our president, Dr. Leith, in a tough spot, and I think they've handled things as fairly as they can. But there really was no change. I think that was just the national media assuming something.
To the issue of Austin and D'Angelo, the one story it's references you saying that it's in the question and answer phase still with them. Because the semester is over and there's it's the end of non-conference play and thing. Has there been any dialogue about what their futures hold, even in the short term, beyond eventually at the end? Obviously, they would look to go pro, but I mean, in the short term, are they looking to leave? Are they looking to pursue other opportunities?
We're trying as best we can to treat them as student athletes, and what they're eligible for and not for. The only thing they're not eligible for is competition right now. So they're eligible for everything else. So they're participating in everything else, whether it be academically, whether it be practice, whether it be other, you know, community service expectations, everything except they've not been cleared to play at this point. So that's the case as we go through the break. That'll continue, you know, to be the case. I'm sure the longer this goes, I think, you know, decisions will have to be made, are going to be made on both sides of that. But there really is no change in their status right now.
So how do you separate what's good for the program, what's good for them? Like, I mean, at this point, they're sitting out almost half the season. At what point is it better for them maybe not to be here, and how do you kind of, and are you going to be honest about, you know, if it's not, if there's no certainty, or if there's still no certainty in a couple of weeks?
Well, I think what we'll try to always do is do what's best for them in these cases, and right now we're going through the process of trying to certify their eligibility. Obviously, school is completed, the finals are over, and we've got one more game left before the kids get a break, and that's kind of where the whole team is.
Bruce, when a team travels cross country like UConn is maybe the game before the first media timeout in terms of tempo maybe important? Do you kind of need to get them sped up because they're legitimately might be, you know, a little bit gassed when they even get here?
Yeah, you know, I think if this was a third game situation, I could tell you from history that third game can be an issue. When we went to play UConn last year on a Saturday afternoon, we had played, I believe, on a Thursday night against Oklahoma, in a pretty late game, and we were fine on Saturday. We didn't have to travel as far, but I don't know that it's going to be a factor. UConn is deep. You have to see what that game looks like tonight. Sure, it'll be somewhat of a factor, but this is their last game before break. They haven't played, like, for example, they've not played since the 9th of December. So they've got to be really, really fresh. So what's 2 games? What's 2 games since December 9th? So since December 9th, Cody, how many games have we played since the 9th of December?
3.
We've played 3 games. This will be our 4th game if you want to look at that. So I think, like, for example, I think that, yeah, you're right. This will be 3 this week. So we've got 3 games this week. We will have played Saturday in Birmingham, Tuesday in Murray, both travel games. Both.
Right.
And I thought that we were fatigued on Tuesday night, playing in Birmingham, traveling home Saturday night, practicing Sunday, leaving Monday, playing Tuesday. I thought we were fatigued. Now yesterday they did get the day off, and we do have a couple kids that are under the weather. So today's practice could be there could be some guys that won't be. We may not be full speed today in practice. I know Bryce Brown will not practice today for some flu symptoms and things like that. Anthony won't have contact today, so it's going to be a little different practice.
The other one I was going to ask you about is Mustafa, because he was going through the flu at Murray, and what is his situation?
He will practice today, but had real stomach issues the whole game against Murray. So.
First, can you talk about this being probably a big game for Mustafa because it's UConn, and also the importance of having a guy like Mustafa and Deshaun to be able to rebound when you get in foul trouble,
Yeah.
like you were Tuesday night?
Yeah, Mustafa gives us. He is like one of the stats that we keep. We keep that plus minus stuff, and he leads our team overall. When he's on the floor, we're better, and it's just because he does a lot of things. He's improved defensively. He rebounds his position. He's a great communicator. He can get you a bucket or get to the foul line. He is a calming influence, and he's really not pressed the issue in the sense that he shared it, and I want to see him continue to do that. He let Jared, but Jared took over the game, and he was as happy about that. He and Bryce were about as happy about that as anybody was. And I love what I'm seeing from those guys off the ball when their teammates are making plays. They're trusting each other. They're rooting for one another. They're sharing it, and I think that really bodes well. I think Deshaun, has a lot to do with that in the sense that he just wants to win, and he didn't get off to a particularly good start against Murray, but certainly battled back and made some really big plays. And there was nothing wrong with going small at the end. There was nothing wrong with it because you put your better ball handlers and shooters out there, and it wasn't a problem. But Chuma was having to play center. He's hardly played center, so trying to get him to get to the right spots, and I'm out there trying to explain to what plays are while they're in the middle of the action, and he handled it okay. So I just, from my standpoint, UConn is coming in to play Auburn on Saturday in Auburn Arena, and it's for me it's a historic opportunity for our basketball team to continue to get better, and knowing that there's such a little margin for error with the situation we find ourselves in. I just want the fans to get there early, and create a really, really, really special environment. And let's see if together we can get number 11.